Hey there, fifth graders, and welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here. Today, we're jumping into something that, honestly, it might sound a little tricky at first, but it's actually this super cool, super useful tool, multiplying fractions. Now, I know, fractions can feel a bit intimidating. But stick with me here, we're going to break this all down step by step. And by the time we're done, you're going to see that fractions are actually a breeze once we model them and solve them together.
All right, let's just dive right in with a question. What if I told you that multiplication is, well, literally just a shortcut for addition? Seriously, try not to think of fraction multiplication as this scary new math rule you have to memorize from scratch. Think of it as a time-saving cheat code for something you already know how to do perfectly. I mean, we use shortcuts in real life all the time to make things easier, right? Math is exactly the same way.
Okay, let's break down exactly what I mean here. You already know how to add fractions when they have the same denominator, right? That's what step 1 shows. 3/4 plus 3/4 equals 6/4. Super simple. But think about what really happened in step 2. We just added 3/4 two times. So moving to step 3, let's use that cheat code. Instead of adding, we can just say 2 times 3/4 equals 6/4. Repeated addition is literally the exact same thing as multiplication. Boom, shortcut unlocked.
And that actually brings us to our very first golden rule. When you want to multiply a whole number by a fraction, here's all you got to do. You multiply the whole number by the top number, the numerator, and you just keep the bottom number, the denominator, exactly the same. Just like we did with 2 times 3 to get 6. That 4 on the bottom, it didn't change at all. It literally just slid right on over.
So let's see how this actually works in the real world. Meet Rhea. Rhea needs some cloth for an art project. She receives 3/4 of a meter of cloth, and she gets this amount twice. So how much cloth does she have in all? See, this isn't just floating abstract math, this is real life. We need to figure out what 2 times 3/4 is so we can help Rhea know if she's got enough material for her project. And there's the answer, 1.5 meters. Now, wait a second, how did we get there from 6/4? Well, remember our repeated addition shortcut? It told us 2 times 3 is 6, we keep the 4 on the bottom, giving us 6/4, and if we simplify that improper fraction, 6/4, it equals 1 whole and 2/4, which is exactly the same as 1.5 meters. So our shortcut got us to Rhea's total incredibly fast, without having to write out any long addition problems. All right, you guys are doing absolutely great. Now, let's learn a little secret code, the word of. Whenever you see the little word of sitting right between two fractions, it's actually a secret math code word that usually means times or multiply. So if a problem asks you for, say, half of something, they're really just asking you to multiply it by 1/2. It's kind of like translating English straight into math. Let's actually test out that secret code word right now. Let's say you need 1/2 of 2/3 of a meter of cloth. Remembering our translation, this actually means 1/2 times 2/3. But how do we even begin to multiply a fraction by another fraction? Like, how do you take a part of a part? Well, we can actually draw a picture of it. Let me show you my absolute favorite visual trick for this. So this trick is called the area model. Step 1, we just draw a whole rectangle to represent 1 whole meter. Step 2, we need 2/3, so we divide that rectangle up and down into 3 equal columns and go ahead and shade 2 of them. Step 3, we need 1/2 of that shaded part, right? So we divide the rectangle the other way, side to side, into 2 equal rows and shade one of those rows. Finally, step 4, and this is where the magic happens, we find the overlap. Where do those 2 shaded sections cross each other? Just look at that overlap. It brilliantly gives us our answer. There are exactly 2 parts where the shaded colors overlap. And if you count all the little boxes inside our whole rectangle, you'll see there are 6 parts total. Those overlapping parts, that's our numerator. And the total parts, that's our denominator. So 2 out of 6, or 2/6. And if we simplify that, it means 1/2 of 2/3 is 1/3 of a meter of cloth. See, drawing it out completely proves that it works. Now, don't get me wrong, drawing rectangles is fantastic for visualizing and really understanding why the math works. But what if we want to go even faster? Before I give you the ultimate lightning-fast rule for multiplying fractions, let's just do a really quick vocabulary check. The top number is the numerator. That tells us how many parts we have. The bottom number is the denominator, and that tells us how many equal parts there are in all. Top is numerator. Bottom is denominator. We good? Awesome. Because here is the standard, super fast rule for multiplying fractions. And I promise you, it is way faster than drawing a rectangle every single time. Step 1, multiply the numerators. Literally just multiply the top number by the other top number. Step 2,
multiply the denominators. Multiply the bottom number by the other bottom number. Top times top, bottom times bottom. That's the whole shebang. Let's see it in action.
All right, here's our first example. 2/3 times 1/5. Let's follow that brand new rule. Step 1, top times top. 2 times 1 equals 2. Super easy. Step 2, bottom times bottom. 3 times 5 equals 15. Put that top number over the bottom number, and step 3 gives us our completely finished answer, 2/15. It really is that simple, guys. You just march straight across the top and straight across the bottom.
Let's try one more, just to really lock it into our brains. 4/5 times 2/3. Step 1, multiply the top numbers. 4 times 2 equals 8. Step 2, multiply the bottom numbers. 5 times 3 equals 15. Step 3, our answer is 8/15. And a quick check tells us that 8 and 15 don't share any common factors besides the number 1, which means our answer is already perfectly in its simplest form. How great is that?
Okay, you guys are doing absolutely amazing so far. But do you want a pro tip to make the math even easier and the numbers even smaller before you even start multiplying? Yeah, I thought you might. This is honestly my absolute favorite part of fraction math. It's our final cheat code, and it's called cancellation. So to use cancellation, we first need to know what a common factor is. A common factor is really just a number that divides two or more numbers exactly. If you can spot a common factor between a top number and a bottom number before you multiply, you can just divide them both by that factor. And why do we do this? Because smaller numbers equal way easier multiplication. It shrinks the numbers down so your brain doesn't have to work nearly as hard, and it totally saves you from having to simplify some giant messy fraction at the very end. Here's a quick little cheat sheet for finding the greatest common factor, or GCF. Look at the numbers 2 and 4. The biggest number that divides into both of them perfectly is 2. For 3 and 9, the GCF is 3. For 4 and 8, it's 4. Spotting these common factors early on across your fractions is the absolute secret key to simplifying before we even multiply. Let me show you how incredibly satisfying this is to do. Take a look at this problem. 1/2 times 2/5. Step 1. Let's scan the tops and bottoms for a common factor. And look, there's a 2 on the bottom of the first fraction and a 2 on the top of the second one. The common factor is 2. Step 2, we cancel them out by dividing both of them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so just cross them out, they both turn into 1s. Now, step 3, multiply what's left. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. The answer is 1/5. We went straight to the simplified answer without breaking a sweat. So the absolutely crucial point here is to always keep an eye out for those cancellation opportunities across your fractions. Let's look at a slightly bigger one. 3/4 times 4/9. Step 1, I see a 4 on the bottom and a 4 on top. Cancel them out, divide by 4, and they both become 1s. Step 2, look at the 3 on top and the 9 on the bottom. They share a common factor of 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. Step 3, now we just multiply our tiny, easy new numbers. 1 times 1 across the top is 1. 1 times 3 across the bottom is 3. The answer is 1/3. Crossing out those common factors first feels like pure magic, right? And just like that, you are officially fraction multiplication masters. You've learned the cheat codes for repeated addition, you've visualized fractions using the area model, you know the top by top and bottom by bottom rule, and you even know how to cancel common factors to make the math easier. Now, here's a question I want to leave you with. Where will you use this fraction shortcut in your own daily life? Maybe you'll use it measuring ingredients for a batch of cookies, or splitting up materials for a project, just like Ria did. Keep your eyes peeled because math is absolutely everywhere. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. You did a fantastic job today, and keep on learning.